A very long time ago, perhaps as much as 15,000 years ago, before anyone had heard of yoga or the Bhagavad Gita or even Tantra, a unique looking man was seen wandering around the upper region of the Himalayas. No one knew his name, no one knew who he was, no one knew where he had come from. As time passed, his legend grew. He was seen very, very rarely, but when he was seen in cremation grounds dancing wildly, or he would be sat completely still, his eyes closed. This wanderer would sit motionless for many, many months at a time. At that time, only a few million people lived on Earth, so the region of the Indian subcontinent was not as populated as it is now. All the people from that part of the world soon began to speak of this wandering yogi. Some believed he was a myth created by elders to frighten children. Others believed he was possessed by spirits. Those who were discarded by society found him fascinating. Those who ruled found him frightening. He was described by some as 7 foot tall with long matted hair. His body was smeared in ash and sometimes even blood. At other times, he had the skin of a dead animal draped over his shoulders. He carried a trident in one hand and a skull in the other, and wherever he wandered, he was followed by the few who believed he was of divine origin. When he danced wildly, he appeared completely inebriated, but when he sat silently, he looked eternally peaceful. Another who was fascinated by him was the Princess Parvati. She was the daughter of Himavan, the king of the Himalayas. When she heard descriptions of this wandering yogi amidst the cremation grounds, she became infatuated. The descriptions she was told, the whispers she had heard, all matched that of a man she had been seeing in her dreams since childhood. When Parvati went to search for this yogi, she would feel her body and even her soul drawing itself towards him. She didn't need a map or direction, she just followed her heart. Her heart and soul drew itself towards this yogi as if they had been separated since the dawn of time. Although they had never met, Parvati longed to be with the yogi. When Parvati found him after many months of travelling, she would find him sitting silently and motionless. Parvati would sit and just watch him. She would sit for many months just watching him as if under a spell, her mind, body and soul completely fixated on him. After many months with his eyes closed, one day the yogi finally opened his eyes. This was only for a split second, but it was enough for him to notice the angelic Parvati. They both sat mesmerized and just stared into each other's longing eyes. Parvati felt like she had waited an entire lifetime for this moment. Any anguish she had over meeting him had now left her body. Both continued to gaze into each other's eyes without any concern for the world around them. The seasons changed, yet their admiring gazes remained fixed on each other. After some time, Parvati, respectful of the traditions she was born into, slowly walked away. She was uncertain and didn't want to leave, but she knew that proper customs should follow if she wished to be with this wandering yogi. Parvati returned home and instructed her dearest friend to inform the yogi that if he wished marriage, he would have to ask Parvati's father for her hand. When the yogi was asked if he would speak to Parvati's father, he replied, "It will be so." Parvati heard the news and was ecstatic. Her family, initially unsure of her wishes to marry someone they had only heard whispers of, soon joined in her celebrations. Rumors have it that even Cupid breathed a sigh of relief. After marriage, the ascetic would spend much time in meditation. His eyes remained closed and his mind peaceful. His body was free from illness and disease, and his intelligence was far superior to anybody else. When he spoke in a way that had never been heard. When he sat in a way that had never been seen. Parvati knew that her husband was experiencing another dimension of life, another reality. He was far too removed from the misery of the common man to not be of a higher state. Parvati, wishing to learn more, inquired, by what means can this higher state be realized? O Shiva, what is your reality? The ascetic, now referred to as Shiva, explained that man, if willing, can elevate himself and experience true awareness and realization of life. Man must experience pure consciousness to be free and peaceful. This is the same consciousness that is responsible for the manifestation, maintenance, and the reabsorption of the entire universe. Shiva would explain that this transformation from human consciousness into divine consciousness is called yoga. The word yoga is used both in the sense of the journey to the universal consciousness and the eventual union. Shiva would go on to explain 112 techniques that man could use to enter into this higher state of consciousness.